When I first got locked up or whatever, I was thinking like, I was like, damn, not only is my life gonna change, my career gonna be over. It's gonna be like 20 years federal and 15.
Before the ice cream tattoo, before the clone memes, before the redemption story that shocked hip-hop, there was Gucci Mane, the East Atlanta pioneer who didn't just participate in trap music, he helped build it. He grew up writing rhymes and studying Tupac while navigating the streets of Zone 6. While the industry chased polish, Gucci flooded the streets with mixtapes, dozens of them, building a cult following through pure volume, charisma, and relentless grind. And beyond the music, Gucci Mane's journey is one of reinvention, from overcoming legal battles to embracing entrepreneurship, healthy living, and a new chapter as a husband and father. His impact stretches from the studio to the streets, from fashion to slang, making him a true cultural architect. So buckle up, because today we're diving into the life of Guwop himself, the trap legend, the hitmaker, the global icon. Before we get started, kindly give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to our YouTube channel. I hope you won't mind me taking you some decades back. It's important we know every part of the journey. Right, before the world knew the name Gucci Mane, before the mixtapes, the trap anthems, the record deals, or the global influence, there was Radric Davis, a boy shaped by the intensity of the American South. Born on February 12, 1980 in Bessemer, Alabama, his early years unfolded in a home defined by contrasting influences and a blend of discipline and creativity. His father, Ralph Everett Dudley, a former U.S. serviceman and power plant worker, and his mother, Vicki Jean Davis, a social worker and teacher, created a household where structure and expression existed side by side. Growing up in Bessemer, Radric's childhood wasn't insulated from the challenges of the surrounding neighborhood. The environment was tough, and like many kids in the area, he was exposed early to the unfiltered realities of Southern street life. But alongside the chaos came the spark that would change everything. His mother introduced him to poetry, providing a foundation for a form of self-expression that would eventually evolve into rap. This early exposure planted a seed, a quiet start to what would become one of hip-hop's most recognizable voices. In the mid-1980s, everything shifted when he moved with his mother to Atlanta, Georgia. That city, rich with musical identity and cultural movement, would become the true birthplace of Gucci Mane as an artist. Atlanta's rising hip-hop scene, full of energy, rawness, and authenticity, pulled him in immediately. Surrounded by street culture, local rap battles, and the emerging sounds that would soon define the South, he began absorbing influences that would later shape the trap genre itself. By his teenage years, Radric was no longer just a kid writing poetry. He was a young artist, beginning to shape lyrics with purpose. He started rapping around age 14, refining a style rooted in his environment, unfiltered, melodic, gritty, and real. Those years in Atlanta created the mindset and musical instincts that would eventually help define trap music, a subgenre he would later be credited with pioneering on a national scale. Despite limited resources and a turbulent environment, he pushed toward his ambitions with relentless focus. These early experiences, Alabama's hardship, Atlanta's cultural heat, and his family's influence, formed the foundation of Gucci Mane's identity long before the fame. His later success, resilience, reinvention, and influence all trace back to these formative years. His early career crystallized with the release of his debut studio album, Trap House, 2005, under Big Cat Records, a project that not only landed on the Billboard 200, but also cemented Gucci Mane as a rising force in the emerging trap movement. The momentum continued with albums like Hard to Kill, 2006, and Trapathon, 2006, each one pushing his raw, unfiltered narrative style further into the public ear. His single, Freaky Girl, marked his first entry onto the Billboard Hot 100, signaling that Gucci Mane was no longer just a local phenomenon. He was on his way to becoming a national figure. By 2007, he expanded his reach through a major label partnership with Atlantic Records, leading to the release of Back to the Trap House, further solidifying his connection to the mainstream while staying deeply rooted in trap's street-born authenticity. But the defining shift of his early professional life came in 2009 with The State vs. Radric Davis, a project fueled by intensity and personal upheaval. Powered by the double platinum hit Lemonade, the album soared into the Billboard 200 Top 10 and marked his true commercial breakthrough. Even as he battled legal issues and personal challenges, Gucci Mane's professional output never slowed. His prolific nature became a signature: more than 16 studio albums and over 70 mixtapes, each contributing new textures to the ever-evolving trap landscape. After a 2-year incarceration, from 2014 to 2016, Gucci Mane returned with a clarity and discipline that transformed both his music and his public image. His comeback album, Everybody Looking, 2016, debuted at number 2 on the Billboard 200, signaling not just a return, but a triumphant rebirth. That same year, his feature on Ray Shremmerd's Black Beatles became his first chart-topping single, reaching number 1 on the Billboard Hot 100 and catapulting him into a new era of mainstream domination. Beyond his own artistry, Gucci Mane became one of hip-hop's most impactful gatekeepers. In 2007, he founded 1017 Records, a label that launched or boosted the careers of artists like Young Thug, Waka Flocka Flame, Chief Keef, and Pooh Shiesty, among others. His ear for talent and willingness to mentor rising stars became part of his professional legacy, expanding his influence far beyond his own discography. His collaborations read like a map of contemporary music, working with artists across genres including Drake, Lil Wayne, Chris Brown, The Weeknd, Mariah Carey, Selena Gomez, and Bruno Mars. These collaborations not only highlighted his versatility, but also reinforced his status as a cultural chameleon, capable of blending seamlessly into multiple musical spaces. Gucci Mane's impact extends beyond music. He published a New York Times best-selling autobiography in 2017, chronicling his struggles, growth, and evolution. His distinctive style, slang, and ad-libs, have echoed across pop culture, influencing fashion trends, internet culture, and the wider lexicon of hip-hop. Today, Gucci Mane stands as a trap pioneer, label founder, mentor, author, and one of the most prolific figures in modern rap. And of course, there is a cash prize for all his endeavors. Gucci Mane's journey to wealth is a story carved from hustle, reinvention, and an almost unmatched level of productivity. In 2026, estimates place his net worth around $14 million, a figure shaped not just by his music career, but by a diverse empire of creative and business ventures. His path to financial success began with a relentless output of albums and mixtapes. From Trap House, 2005, onward, Gucci Mane built his name on gritty storytelling, southern authenticity, and an unmistakable trap sound that grew into a cultural movement. Music sales, streaming royalties, and his extensive catalog remain central pillars of his wealth. But his income extends far beyond rap. He has appeared in films such as Spring Breakers and Birds of a Feather, steadily expanding his presence into acting. A major driver of his net worth is the empire he built through 1017 Records, the label he launched in 2007. The imprint became a breeding ground for some of hip-hop's most influential talents, including Young Thug and Pooh Shiesty, earning Gucci Mane recognition not only as an artist, but as a kingmaker in the industry. Label earnings, artist development, and ongoing royalties all feed into his growing financial influence. Gucci Mane's entrepreneurial instincts reach even further. His ventures include Delantic Clothing, a fashion line tied to his personal brand, and a high-profile collaboration with the luxury fashion house Gucci, which has added a consistent stream of endorsement income. He also profits from merchandise, public appearances, and the continued cultural relevance of his image. For a man whose public story includes trials, incarceration, setbacks, and reinvention, financial growth has also come from transformation. His 2017 autobiography, which became a bestseller, provided both revenue and a new chapter in public perception, positioning him as an artist with wisdom, discipline, and longevity. Real estate investments with his wife Keyshia Ka'oir further elevate his net worth, reinforcing the foundation of a long-term financial legacy. Although some sources report higher speculative numbers, credible reporting consistently places Gucci Mane's net worth between $14 million and $25 million, depending on whether his combined assets with Keyshia Ka'oir are included. At the core of it all is a man who turned raw beginnings into a multi-million-dollar empire, built from music, creativity, business foresight, and a brand that continues to grow with every new chapter. Real estate being one of his moneymakers, let's take a look at where he lives. Gucci Mane's rise from the streets of East Atlanta to the pinnacle of trap royalty is reflected not only in his music, but in the lavish homes he's claimed along the way. His mansions, symbols of triumph, transformation, and southern luxury, stand as physical milestones of a life rebuilt and reimagined. One of the most well-known properties tied to Gucci Mane sits in Marietta, Georgia, an affluent community just outside Atlanta. This mansion, spanning 6,628 square feet, features 5 bedrooms, 7 bathrooms, and a design that blends bold personality with polished southern elegance. Purchased for around $1.8 million, the home captures everything Gucci Mane has become: refined, resilient, and unapologetically luxurious. Its spacious layout and modern touches make it a standout even among celebrity estates. The neighborhood itself is upscale and private, offering the rapper a quiet retreat just beyond the energy of Atlanta's music culture. Inside, the mansion's styling mirrors Gucci's personal flair: lavish finishes, expansive rooms, and the kind of contemporary southern architecture that announces success without saying a word. Outdoors, a shimmering pool, fountains, and a fully equipped outdoor kitchen complete the picture, an entertainer's paradise often seen in glimpses on Gucci Mane's social media. Guests have reported celebrities like Drake, Young Thug, Mike Will Made It, and Zaytoven attending gatherings in this opulent space. While Gucci Mane's real estate journey has included multiple homes, his Marietta estate remains the crown jewel, the clearest reflection of his journey from adversity to opulence. With its luxurious amenities, private location, and signature design, the mansion represents more than wealth. It is a testament to his transformation from a troubled young artist into a disciplined businessman, a husband, and one of hip-hop's most prolific creators. Where once there were struggles and setbacks, there now stand grand estates, architectural proof of Gucci Mane's evolution.